Family, welcome back to another episode of the Royal Sussex Squad, the place where we cut through the palace propaganda, lift up Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and call out the hypocrisy, the double standards, and the outright lies that have been fed to the public for years. Today we are diving into yet another palace lie that has just been exposed. The story that Princess Kate Middleton, now Princess of Wales, supposedly did her own wedding makeup on her big day in 2011. For over a decade, the palace and the media pushed this as part of her perfect girl next door fairy tale narrative. They said she was humble, low maintenance, and above the vanity of Hollywood glam. They praised her endlessly for doing it all herself. But now, thanks to Bobbi Brown, yes, the legendary makeup mogul, we know that story was a lie. Let's get into this. First of all, Kate's wedding in April 2011 was positioned as one of the grandest spectacles of modern times. The gown, the tiara, the veil, the lace sleeves, all of it was praised and dissected by the media for months. But one of the strangest takeaways that the palace deliberately planted was this idea that Kate Middleton, future Queen Consort, was so modest and grounded that she did her own makeup, that she was different, that she wasn't like those celebrities or like Hollywood Meghan. Do you see where I'm going with this? Because from day one, the palace PR machine has been about constructing one woman, Kate, as the epitome of humility and perfection, and tearing down Meghan as somehow too polished, too glamorous, too American. And here's the kicker. That whole story about Kate doing her own makeup was completely false. Bobbi Brown, during a podcast appearance, revealed that it wasn't Kate at all, but rather one of Brown's artists, Hannah Martin, who actually did Kate's makeup for the wedding. Bobbi Brown herself didn't even do it, though Kate used her products. But the professional artistry came from her team, not from Kate. So for 14 years, Kate and the palace let the world believe she did her own makeup. For 14 years, they let her bask in praise for being authentic and natural, while the media used that same narrative to paint Meghan as a diva for having a professional artist like Daniel Martin create her stunning, radiant wedding look. Meghan was criticised for daring to embrace what almost every bride does, hire a makeup artist. And yet Kate was lifted up on a pedestal for supposedly being so humble that she didn't need one. That is not just a harmless fib. That is propaganda. That is image manipulation at its finest. Think about it. The palace wanted to build Kate's brand on this idea that she was the perfect every woman. She cooked her husband's meals. She recycled her outfits. She didn't have a nanny at first, until, of course, she did. She didn't use hairpieces, until, of course, she did. And she did her own makeup, until we found out that was a lie. This isn't about makeup. This is about the constant stream of deceit packaged as tradition and authenticity, while another woman, Meghan, was vilified for doing absolutely nothing different. Meghan was transparent about Daniel Martin doing her makeup. She celebrated his artistry, and the press mocked her for it. They called her Hollywood, showy, and high maintenance. Meanwhile, Kate was praised for supposedly being different, but it turns out she wasn't different at all. She was just hiding behind a palace-manufactured lie. And here's the part that really stings. Meghan was constantly compared to Kate using this very narrative. It wasn't just that Kate supposedly did her own makeup. It was that the media weaponized that story to paint Meghan as lesser, as unworthy, as too American. They used the lie to bash another woman. That's what makes this revelation so important, because it shows the lengths to which the palace is willing to go to protect their chosen narrative, to elevate one woman while destroying another, to sell Kate as perfect while trashing Meghan as difficult. Now, let's zoom out and remember the bigger picture. This isn't the only palace lie we've seen. Remember when they swore up and down that all of Kate's hair was real, no extensions, no hairpieces, until photographic evidence proved otherwise? Remember when they claimed Kate wasn't a clothes horse, even though she has a wardrobe worth millions of taxpayer pounds? Or when they tried to gaslight the public into believing that Meghan made Kate cry, when we now know from Harry's book Spare and other reporting that it was actually the other way around? This make-up story is part of a pattern, a long, deliberate, carefully orchestrated PR strategy to maintain the illusion of perfect Kate while demonizing Meghan. And yet, no matter how many lies get exposed, the press rarely calls it out with the same venom they use against Meghan. Let me ask you this. How many screaming headlines have you seen this week about Kate being dishonest or inauthentic now that the truth about her wedding makeup has come out? None. Instead, it's treated as a quirky revelation, a fun little tidbit. But if this had been Meghan, oh my goodness, it would have been wall-to-wall scandal coverage. They would have called her a fraud. They would have said she staged her entire wedding look. They would have accused her of lying to the public, of being manipulative, of being fake. That's the double standard we're always talking about here on the Royal Sussex Squad. Meghan and Harry can't breathe without the British press dissecting their every move, twisting it into something negative. Meanwhile, Kate and William can lie, manipulate and rewrite history, and the press shrugs it off. And family, I want us to also reflect on how damaging these narratives are. Because when Meghan entered the royal family, she was already up against a machine designed to pit her against Kate. From the beginning, the palace fed stories to the press about dueling duchesses, about catfights, about Meghan being demanding while Kate was long-suffering and serene. And the wedding makeup lie fed right into that. Imagine how Meghan must have felt. She's preparing for her wedding, working with Daniel Martin, someone she trusts, and suddenly the media is weaponizing Kate's supposed DIY makeup to paint Meghan as superficial. And all the while, the palace knew the truth. They knew Kate hadn't done her own makeup. They knew they were selling a fairy tale. And they said nothing. Because protecting Meghan was never the goal. Protecting Kate's image was. This revelation is more than gossip. It's proof of the palace machine at work. It's proof of the lies, the spin, and the deliberate manipulation that has been going on for decades. And it's a reminder that Meghan was never treated fairly, never given the benefit of the doubt, never protected in the same way Kate was. So, what's the lesson here? It's simple. Don't believe the palace spin. Don't believe the media when they try to sell you these perfect narratives. Look at the patterns. Look at the hypocrisy. Look at the way Meghan was vilified for the exact same things Kate was celebrated for, or lied about. And most importantly, remember this. Meghan and Harry chose to step away from that system for a reason. They chose freedom, honesty, and authenticity. They chose to tell their own story, not let the palace PR machine twist it for them. And for that, they deserve our respect and support. Family, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this latest revelation? Does it shock you, or did you always suspect that the palace was lying about Kate's wedding makeup? And how do you think this kind of propaganda hurt Meghan's image in the long run? As always, thank you for riding with the Royal Sussex Squad, where we lift up the truth, defend Harry and Meghan, and call out the lies that others are too scared to expose. The palace lied about Princess Kate doing her own wedding day makeup, so much of the Princess of Wales's wedding look holds up. She went for a super traditional wedding gown, and it looked great. She single-handedly brought back lace sleeves for wedding gowns. It was considered controversial that she wore her hair half down, but it looked nice. Her veil was pretty, and the Cartier halo tiara suited her. The only parts of her wedding look which really date the wedding is the fact that Kate overdid the fake bronzer, and she was a pale orange in many photos. That and her makeup was too heavy. Since 2011, the excuse for the too heavy eye makeup was Kate did her wedding makeup herself. She took lessons and she wanted to look like herself. Unfortunately, much like Pippa's wedding ass, the makeup story was made of lies. Next stay, Kate Middleton had some help in achieving her royal wedding look, dispelling a long-standing rumour that she did her own makeup for her walk down the aisle. Makeup mogul Bobbi Brown appeared on the Breaking Beauty podcast to promote her new book, Still Bobbi. During the episode, the conversation turned to Kate's April 2011 wedding to Prince William. And while she used Bobbi Brown products, the makeup artist said she wasn't the one to apply them. "I didn't do her makeup. I wish I did," Brown, 68, said in the interview. "It was one of my artists, Hannah Martin, who's become quite a sensation in the UK. It was previously believed that the Princess of Wales, now 43, did her own makeup for the big day after taking lessons." However, Brown confirmed to the hosts, "Hannah did her makeup. Hannah did give me some information that I should set my alarm and watch," the makeup guru added. "We were texting back and forth and she's like, 'Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.'" When asked if they were allowed to claim credit for the look, Brown said, "We didn't, as a company, use it. No one did that back then. It wasn't the right thing to do." She added that she has a note hanging in her office from someone who wrote letters on behalf of the royal, saying how much she appreciated the makeup. From People. This is insane. Do you guys realize that? The Kate did her own makeup lie came straight from the palace. It was one of the talking points about the wedding and Kate's whole look. She's taken credit for doing her own makeup for over 14 years. It's such a bizarre thing to lie about too, much like Kate's dumb hairpieces. Kate's office keeps insisting that all of that is her real hair, El Mao, just like they kept insisting in 2011 that Kate did her own makeup. Wasn't that used as a cudgel against Meghan as well? Because Meghan came out and said that Daniel Martin did her wedding day makeup, and people were like, how gauche, how Hollywood, perfect Kate did her own makeup. The lies! And before I go, let me remind you, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell so you never miss a new video, and if you'd like to support this channel, consider donating through Super Thanks. Your support helps us keep shining a light on the truth and standing strong for Harry and Meghan. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep standing up for what's right. Squad, I love you.